Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here. My name is Jane, this is my channel, International Tarot. I wanted to do a quick message regarding private readings if you're interested, okay? I just put up a temporary booking page. I'm still building out my site, but it's only going to be available till June 14th, and then I'm going to be turning it off again because I have a visitor coming here to visit me in Bali, and I won't be able to be doing privates. And then again in July for only a couple weeks. Likely I'm going to be moving to Europe after the middle of July or into early August. So it's going to be kind of sporadic, and I apologize for that, but I just got to work around my schedule a little bit. So thank you so much again, and enjoy your reading. Hello Aquarius, how are you? Welcome to your June 2017 love reading. Thank you so much for being here. Let's go ahead and get started, okay? Already prepared the decks, so let's dive in. Aquarius. Nine of Wands and Hero of Swords. Well, this is your card, okay? You may be really having a difficult time with your own compassion, okay? You are you've closed it off, okay? I don't know, some of you may have pushed people away, some of you may have kind of gone into your own little world. I'm kind of seeing a little bit of a theme here: Sagittarius, Capricorn, and now Aquarius. A little bit of hermit moding going on, right? Pulling it in, retracting, not giving as much as maybe you would otherwise, but yet you still remain compassionate. And some of you may be thinking, I love this person, I care about them, and it is in fact that caring that I have for them that is preventing me from making choices that are for my higher good or for my greater good, right? Seeing, you know, an extension of, it's like a pause, right? This is the Hero of Swords. I often see this as, you know, well, I mean, it is a warrior who is extending, making a loving gesture before he's out the door and heading to war. So still very independent, still very, you know, concerned about your own life and what you need to do and all of that. Maybe even feeling a little bit guilty for leaving someone behind, or feeling guilty for hurting or potentially hurting or wanting to hurt someone. Okay, you don't want to is what I'm saying, right? And the fact that you might is kind of making you feel guilty, so you are pulling it back. Now this can be a very courageous card as well, right? Courage, standing up for you, but it's also very protective. You got to protect what's yours. Ace of Coins in the foundational position. Having a little bit of difficulty tying this into the first two cards, seeing it as kind of an independent thing. So this in the foundational position is kind of something that has brought you to this point, an opportunity. So maybe something came in, whether it was like another partner or whether it was a change in the relationship or something that kind of put you in this pulled back position. Not sure yet. I'm going to pull more cards, so we'll kind of see where this goes. The Enchantress of Swords. So we have, okay, so you, Hero of Swords in the center. Enchantress of Swords. And then your thoughts is the Artisan of Wands. Now I'm kind of feeling like this Enchantress of Swords is more just an energy, but it could be a person as well, okay? It could be the same person. This is the card of Libra, but it could also be Gemini or Aquarius as well, or just anyone that has their own type of aloofness, okay? Their own kind of emotional separation, dealing with a couple of you and them, okay, both kind of in your own little world, both kind of doing your own thing, both kind of turning a shoulder on one another, but still remaining connected. You're still in your thoughts, still thinking about it, still strategically planning of how to move forward, how to change, how to, you know, it's very calculating. I think your mind is really calculating options right now. Sorry, I had to take a sip of my tea. Two of Swords is a moment of decision, or a point of decision where you say, okay, I need to draw the line in the sand somewhere. Now, I don't know exactly where the line is getting blurred. Okay, this may be a difference in life path. Maybe two people are on just different life paths. I'm wondering if the other person really knows that, or if the other person thinks that too, or if they are in effect like do they know, other than you kind of being a little bit aloof, or you kind of, you know, doing your own thing, do they know how you feel? Like, do they know that you've sort of moved on, or that you are, any acts of kindness, any acts of communication is in fact showing of caring about them? But just because you're showing that you care about them doesn't mean that you want a future with them. Okay, now I'm kind of speaking to singles or people that are in a relationship right now, okay? I'm speaking generically and openly. If you're married though, and like divorce is not an option, like you're in it to win it, you're in it for the long haul, you're going to win, it still speaks to your life path, right? So the story is kind of the same. There may be an emotional distance kind of carving its way through the two of you. And honestly, two air signs, they're not emotionally dependent on one another. In fact, they're not the most in tune with their emotions anyway. I mean, they can be, and I'm not saying you don't have emotions, because you absolutely do, but you're not driven by your emotions, right? So I think that's kind of where the emotional crevice in between the two of you is kind of getting deeper and deeper, is that you're logically together, you know, maybe you have a good on paper relationship or whatever. Maybe you have passion as well, like sexually you're right there. But when it comes to the foundational and core aspects of a relationship, there's something in question about it, okay? You're in a very, like, your mind is ticking. It's like tick, 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 and you're thinking. My guess is that they aren't thinking so much either, and they seem to have a little bit of a lively spirit about them. Like I said, they might not know, or they're kind of living in denial or living in avoidance of some core issues, and that could be annoying for you, causing that emotional canyon to get even deeper. Five of Swords is a battle you can't win, you know? Aquarius, I'm not going to say this person's not a good match for you. King, Queen of Swords, I mean, it's a great match. You operate on the same wavelengths, but the Artisan of Wands, and okay, now I'm seeing it really, it's really, maybe she's not the energy, maybe this is the energy actually, now that I'm kind of going through farther with the story. You're both aloof, and you're both kind of whimsical, and you're both kind of, you know, you know what's coming to my mind is the word like magical. You both have your own type of magic about you, you know, and sometimes two magical people, you know, there could be some struggles there. Personality clashes a little bit. Big personalities. These are strong personalities, strong rows, causing a Five of Swords situation, which is battles not worth fighting, things not worth protecting. Now, there is an element of protection here, so maybe you're actually protecting them. You're doing things for the sake of them. Like I said, you're feeling guilty, therefore offering things of compassion or moments or communication of compassion, and yet it's ultimately not in line with what you want, right? So it's kind of sinking you back, causing that Five of Swords to come out. You're protecting them, you're also protecting yourself in different ways. You don't want to hurt them. You don't want to hurt yourself. But in the meantime, the more and more you sit on the fence about something, the deeper that crevice gets. And the more pressure you have to make this decision, Two of Swords. See, what's interesting with these is that there's the scrolls of truth here next to each one. The scrolls of truth are what our intuition is saying. Your partner very likely intuitively is feeling, okay, something's really, really wrong, or something's not right about this relationship. But they are not acknowledging it. I think they're choosing not to. The Hanged Man, the one torn asunder. You know, this is a point of suspension, delay, but it gives us an opportunity to see things from new perspectives. Like, no one here is making quick, rash decisions at this point with these cards. You know, no one is jumping the gun. Everyone's thinking things through. It's a very slow moving month for a lot of signs. A lot of like taking your time, analyzing your options, figuring things out, weighing the scales, right? Weighing both sides of a story and trying to see things objectively. Like I said, very calculating, very purposeful. And the Hanged Man is that point of suspension, that state of being where we're allowed to weigh those scales and no one is pressuring us to make decisions quickly. Okay. Deep running emotions, very, very deep. Okay. You seem to be taking on the more masculine, you know, with the Hero of Swords, you know, air is a masculine energy. And you're represented by the King. Okay, that's your card. So you seem to be the one that's more leading the story a little bit, and your partner is kind of along for the ride. I know that you know that their emotions are running very, very deep. I know that they're in a little bit of denial. I know that you know that you're afraid of what could happen if you made a wrong move, right? Because this can be a very possessive person. This is not always the most friendly person either. Someone that can easily cut someone out of their life just as easily as you can. That's a two-edged sword. Pun intended. It's a two-edged sword. But yet they have the extra depth. This can lead, in the reversal, King of Cups lends itself to the more negative attributes, right? So jealousy and possessiveness. This is actually the card of Cancer, right? Extreme sensitivity as well. They're a little bit more volatile, which is likely why you haven't done anything, or why you're still extending kindness of some kind, why you're still entertaining the idea of not hurting them. You're afraid of what this Queen of Cups reversal might do or might say, or how it might affect you. And the Garden reverse, telling me this story is not over. This chapter has not closed. This is like the World, right? But in this particular card, you have the Tree of Life, you have the women, and you have the serpent that's kind of intertwining them. So it's the good, the Tree of Life, and the bad with the serpent. So to me, it's like you haven't quite accepted the good and the bad. You haven't quite accepted the situation. And the bad could be something that they did, or like the bad could be that this just really might not be a good relationship for you. The bad could be the hurt and the pain that might come out of it. But the good might be that maybe you could actually be happy with this person, right? Or the good could be maybe this really is a life path, or maybe their annoying personality traits are something that you can live with because the good is so good that it outweighs the bad. Okay, so I'm not saying that all of you are in this incredibly dark place, actually quite the contrary. You're just retreating and pulling back in, no offense, but and I may have said this earlier on, but the stereotypical Aquarian way where you disappear. You don't like to be the bad guy, so you retreat. Doesn't mean you're not thinking about them, doesn't mean you don't care about them. Now, this can also apply to you, actually. It's weird. I don't normally am like, this could be you and them, and this could be you and them, but really I'm seeing it just as overall for everybody involved. This could also be you, like you are afraid of your own depth of emotion. You are afraid, because air signs, they interpret feelings with words. Right? They interpret feelings with intellect. That's generic. I'm being very generic, okay? In general. They, especially Aquarians, which are very much about the words, and they like to express themselves with words. But the saying the words about the emotion is very different from feeling the emotion. This is feeling, and it's not necessarily good feeling. Maybe you are even a little bit possessive, maybe even a little bit jealous of them for some reason, and that scares you. To have that side of you scares you. Therefore, you protect yourself, protecting yourself by whatever, disappearing. See, Two of Cups. And the Eight of Wands came out. So, Two of Cups is that connection. Again, I know that you care about them. I know you do. And I know that you don't want to hurt them. Some of you may need to acknowledge the connection that you have or the connection that you share, and to not be so afraid, because you're doing yourself a little bit of a disservice. But if it's really someone that's really not for you, it's possible for you to acknowledge the good and the bad, and to, you know, to accept them for what they are. And that was a theme for another sign of mine. I forget, like Leo or something. This is the card of manifestation. So I don't know what this is or what this means, but you're manifesting something, some opportunity coming. You are communicating, or I'm not really seeing it as communicating. I'm seeing it more as something coming to you. Ace of Coins coming to you. No idea what that means. Something coming your way, and something that you've been actively working for. Okay? There are 3 people in this card, so maybe some of you did have a third party that kind of interrupted your relationship or your connection with this person. I mean, there is essentially 3 people here. Right? This woman here would be this woman. They would be the same. So 3 people. There's 3 women here. There's 3 people here. So maybe some of you are, you know, but I don't know. I don't think you're specifically straying, right? But it's like you were hoping for, this is kind of like, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it, but it might not be with the person that you want it with, kind of thing, or the one that you originally thought you were going to have it with. Not denying you the love, not denying you the intensity of what you, it is intense for both of you. It is intense. 10 of Cups reversed. See, there's something about this person or this relationship that does not quite fit. Like I said, you might be good on paper, you might be a little bit of a power couple, or you might be, like they might really match your level of independence, and they really respect your freedom, because they too need their own freedom as well, and they kind of operate at that same pace and that same level. But in spite of the love that you have, there is still something missing. There's still some element of disappointment about this connection, right? And you know, if you are watching this because you're in love with an Aquarian, and you're like, where did they go? And look at what we had, and why isn't this coming to fruition? You know, you really need to ask yourself. I'm not talking to the Aquarians here, I'm talking to everyone else watching. You really need to ask yourself and really be honest with yourself, because likely you also know that there is something missing. Okay? Because 10 of Cups reversed, I mean, that has to be on both sides. Maybe not. I mean, maybe for you, not, but this was a pie in the sky idea. It may have been driven by passion and driven by an understanding of what love is or what love is supposed to be. But when it comes to the nitty-gritty details and the mundane aspects of the relationship, something was off. See, 5 of Coins, but reversed. 5 of Swords, 5 of Coins. Elements of isolation here. But it's weird. It's like you're trying to repel that. Like you're clinging because of the guilt, because you do feel compassion, because you do care. Aquarius, I'm talking to you now. And you know, you do recognize what this is, but at the same time, you know, you kind of you're preventing, you're holding off on that 5 of Coins. You're holding off on that isolation and that rejection for now. There seems to be a consolidation of perception and reality where they become one, right? Where your reality becomes the reality. And it is no longer an illusion or a mirage. That's how I see the 10 of Cups. It's like a mirage in the desert. It's not really there. It's chasing rainbows. And you finally figured it out, or you finally realized it. 4 of Wands. Stability, oddly enough. I'm not seeing this as being a very stable reading. Maybe this is your search for stability. With this person, I don't know. Some of you, yes, you will find a way to work it out, right? That's the decision being made here, 2 of Swords. The decision to stay or the decision to find stability in another area of your life. The Artisan of Swords, like the Knight of Swords, but I see it differently. I see it being prepared, like preparedness. The craftsmen, artisans, I mean, that's what they are. They're artists, right? They are creators. They're creatives. All right? The architect, the blacksmith. The blacksmith makes useful things, makes tools, you know? And I think you are preparing a little bit for, like you're putting something off. You're putting a conversation off. You're putting this isolation on the back burner for right now. Right now, you're kind of sharpening your knives. Right? And I know that sounds like really bad, and the ones that are in love with an Aquarian and you're like, holy cow, what does that mean? Like, don't freak out. I'm not saying they're gonna, you know, completely end everything. No, but they're really figuring out what it is that they want. There's a lot of self-reflection going on, and there's a lot of like kind of like bigger picture stuff. But they're not quite there yet. They haven't quite put their finger on what it is that they need, or what it is that's missing, or what it is that you can provide that will help make them happier. Their lack of communication isn't helping. We have a couple of cards though that do indicate maybe that's coming, or maybe there will be a little bit of a reconciliation coming. I don't know for sure, but there are 2 cards indicating that that's a possibility. Seeing another one, Devotee of Cups in the environment. Now, Aquarius, I don't know if this is you delivering a message, but more likely it's someone coming to you. You know, someone that recognizes your retreat, that sees you closing off, that sees you disappearing and doesn't want you to. They may make some effort, small effort, like a text message or a Facebook message or something like that, but they may make an effort to, you know, let you know that they're still there and that they're willing to listen and that they're willing to talk. I don't see a lot of aggression here for you. Maybe you guys just really aren't talking that much. I see more avoidance than I see tension or aggression. And there is an element of waiting, you know. They are waiting peacefully to hear from you. They are waiting peacefully to talk about what needs to happen and what needs to change. And they are open to revision in spite of what you may feel. Like you might really be getting an icy vibe from them. But in spite of what you perceive it to be, is not the reality. Okay? Don't be so afraid of your assumptions, because they're, what is the saying? Assumptions make an ass out of you and I assume the ass between I and you or something, whatever the saying is. I'm so bad at those sayings. A 3 of coins, you're hoping for a creative solution. You're hoping for an outlet. You're hoping for concrete. It's interesting. I'm not usually seeing air signs going toward the more mundane energies, but we have the Ace of Coins here, the 5 of Coins, and the 3 of Coins. And it's like you need something real. You need something of substance. You need something that you can work with, right? Like maybe for some of you, this was an emotionally unavailable person. And so you pulled it back. You pulled it back and said, okay, well, if you're not emotionally available for me, well, then I'm not going to be emotionally available for you either. You know? Like, let's get real about this. Let's be practical. All I wanted was for you to ask me to move in. All I wanted was for you to ask me to be your girlfriend or boyfriend. All I wanted was keys or to get married, you know. I'm not saying that's all you wanted. I mean, that's kind of a big deal, but you know what I mean. You wanted something concrete and something real, something that you could show the world. And that person wasn't quite offering that, I don't think. Another artisan. So there's a lot of kind of petty, not petty, like unevolved or not very evolved emotions. I often see the artisans as not being like fully grown up yet, okay? Meaning not fully understood, not fully expressed. Artisan of Coins, the sense of duty, I think, that you have toward this relationship is waning. It's starting to wear thin. You're starting to put down your, like, I'm going to be an awesome girlfriend hat or an awesome boyfriend hat. I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to stop trying so hard. And that's it. There seems to be a fading, like things are kind of fading slowly, slowly. Artisan of Coins, very slowly. I feel like this reading for me has kind of wandered. And I don't normally like it when readings do that, but it could be a reflection of what your mental process is, what you're really doing, what your mind is really going through. A lot of back and forth, a lot of consideration, not a lot of, you know, grand gestures happening, trying to understand the love or trying to understand the connection. But still, I feel like it's falling short. Like you love them, you love the relationship, but there's just something that's not satisfying about it. Oh, I keep dropping. Threads of Fate reversed. It's like the Wheel of Fortune. Like the world reversed. 2 indications that this cycle or this story is not over. But, you know, luck's not necessarily in your corner right now. I think, well, that's not luck is not in your corner. That doesn't really make sense. The universe is always in your corner, okay? It's always there for you, and it's never really working against you in spite of the fact that sometimes it might feel that way. But it's, things aren't properly set up yet for the next chapter to begin. This relationship needs to have a concrete pivot point. Okay, Two of Swords, whether it's to stay or to go or to make some kind of major change. And what's interesting here with the Three of Coins, I don't know why the coins are really standing out to me right now, but they are. And they're really speaking to me of, let's not be in the air, okay? Whoops. Let's not be too much in the air. Let's not be too deep in the emotion, deep in the water. Let's bring it up to earth, slow it down. Let's relax. There's no pressure. There's no nothing. There's nothing. There's no expectations. And let's see what we can do. It's kind of like survival mode a little bit, right? Like your plane crashes and you're washed up to shore, and now you have to survive. You're not in the air, you're not in the water, and now you're in the land. And you have to figure out how to make shelter, how to make a fire, how to eat, right? You have to figure out how to love one another, how to communicate, how to be open, what you need to do to change your communication style and what they need to do to change their communication style, right? Some of you may or may not be open to that. For some of you, you really may have been like, you know what, I don't have it in me. I care about the person, but I don't care about the relationship that much. I don't know why I'm sensing a lack of investment here from both parties. Like emotionally, you've invested, but there really hasn't been, well, I'm gonna probably get a lot of comments about that and be like, no way, I totally did. But I just think right now, the separation is so like concrete and so severe that I just don't think that it's, you know, I don't know. Hold on, let's keep going. Let's see another coins, devotee of coins. Another page. There may have been some extension of some offering of some kind. It's interesting that this is, you know, toward the past. Like she's kind of looking toward the past a little bit with the red robes. So I'm wondering if this is them. This is your person of interest here. And if they extended some kind of offer in the past, now you may be expecting something. It's almost as though their offer was so like unromantic that you may have taken it as insincere, or you may have misinterpreted it as insincere. Like you got the Page of Coins, but what you needed was the Page of Cups. Kind of thing. I don't really know why. Like these are in your foundational position, so these are like not hopes and fears. These are maybe like stuff that actually has happened, things that have brought you here. So I don't know what it was that they brought to the table, or what happened in your life, like the introduction of a third party or something that has kind of put the brakes on this person. Hero of Wands. And the Sun. See, there's an element of optimism with the Sun up here, like rest, relaxation, feeling serene, feeling calm, feeling happy. Hero of Wands is like the King of Wands. See here, I feel like you were fighting for the Ten of Cups and they were aloof. So maybe because they were aloof, or they seemed emotionally uninvested, you became aloof and emotionally uninvested. I don't know why I'm seeing this as you're kind of preparing for the worst, just in case. Like you're prepared for the worst just in case, but you're still remaining very optimistic. But the Three of Wands is a very independent energy. It's very much about new chapters, 2 3s, right? New beginnings, new cycles. It's very much about standing on the edge of what's familiar and looking out over the horizon at the unexplored areas of your life. And at the same time, not quite venturing into those new horizons, but waiting for a sign, waiting for a message to come to you. Here's that message that you're waiting to come to you. Okay, and I think you will get it. It's likely not going to be everything you were hoping for, but it will be something, I think. If it hasn't happened already. For some of you who don't want to lose your relationship, it's important for you to open up. It's important for you to be present, because the red of these ladies' robes they're all tying together for me. Okay, so if you don't want to lose this person, then because here they are maybe looking for a sign in their own life, and you're kind of just like looking out for yourself. Each of you, you're out for yourself right now. But they're not going to sit around and wait for you to make up your mind. They love you and they care about you, and they do want to move forward with the relationship, but they can't be at your beck and call. It can't be all about your time frame, you know? Seven of Swords, the card of self-sabotage. Aquarius, ask yourself, are you finding things in your relationship on purpose? Are you finding things that you don't like on purpose and using them against that person on purpose? If that's what you're doing, then it's not the relationship for you. And to love yourself enough to understand that, and to have the strength, and to have the willingness to be the bad guy. Okay? If you are in fact keeping something from your significant other, like I said, some of you, there may be three people involved. Like maybe you've pulled away from this connection, a connection that you once fought so hard for, because there was a new opportunity that came in. So some of you are dealing with 3 people. And likely that new person is the one giving you what you need, or the one that's offering what you need, right? Here's the pentacle, here it is, on a silver platter, kind of thing. And you are keeping secrets, maybe. Maybe for some of you it was the other way around, and your significant other is the one that found someone else, and they're keeping something from you. There's even 3 people in this card as well. I know you can't really see that, but there's 2 in the water and 1 running away. Maybe some of you are even just like, nope, not gonna do this, and you just run away from everything. Another page, devotee, lots of people going on here. Okay, we have 3 artisans, we have 3 pages. Do I have 3 pages or just 2? Maybe just 2. Never mind. We have 3 artisans though. I see this as blocked communication. So even if you were going to get communication, I don't know if it would really be received, or I don't know if you'd be like, okay, yep, let's talk about it. You know, it's very guarded energy you have, or you both have maybe. It's like you both want to talk, but you're both not talking. You're not acknowledging something. There's definitely an essence of non-acknowledgement. If there are lies going around, Aquarius, it is better to be the bad guy sometimes, right? And again, some of you it's not. Sometimes some of you it is the other person, and they're the one lying, or they're the one that has their own extracurricular activities, you know, and that's not fair to you either, but you can't just be in denial about it, right? You need to confront it if you ever want these wheels to turn over. I'm not seeing anyone confronting anything right now, though. See, Two of Wands, Two of Cups, Two of Wands, Two of Swords, the Empress. See, I feel, Aquarius, that you want to move on. Like I said before, it is your compassion for this person. It is your love. It is your guilt, whatever it is that is keeping you stagnant. You seem to be lost for your future. Your future seems to be quite unclear. It's a very frustrating place for you. But you know what? You'll figure it out. Okay, this is a really good time for all of us to really focus on how much we love ourselves and to really do what's best for us. You know, we do tend to put ourselves on the back burner a lot of times for the sake of someone else. But it seems to me like they're not really fighting either right now. Like they're giving you your space, and I know you respect them for that, but at the same time they aren't fighting. So where is your future headed? It's all going to depend on what you decide to do. Some of you will continue to work on your relationship and you'll make it work, and others of you won't. You know? A tough reading. You're not the only one that got a tough reading, guys. Every reading has been kind of a little bit of tough love. So I hope, though, that it does speak to you in some way and provide some insight. I really wish you nothing but the best this month. I will let you go with that. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in a couple weeks for your mid-month. Bye.